Previously on Wealth Gambit.
In the USA, LA specifically, World Cup Host Committee, which includes SoFi Stadium, has already filed a bid to host some of the FIFA World Cup 2026 events. And now fans and even investors are left hanging with a big question. Are they going to win the bid?
On June 17th, FIFA officially announced the venues for the 2026 World Cup. One of them is none other than SoFi Stadium, aka the most expensive stadium built in the world. For the first time in FIFA history, there will be 3 nations that will host one of the biggest events in the football space. 11 stadiums are hosting from the United States, 3 in Mexico, and 2 in Canada. Mark your calendars as the 2026 FIFA World Cup will kick off on June 8, 4 years from now. Russia hosted the last World Cup, and about 3.58 billion people on record watched the ultimate competition. For SoFi, which invested a lot in this stadium to become a household brand, how long do you think it will take for this investment to pay off? In this video, we'll go over 7 key things to know about the 2026 FIFA World Cup, where SoFi stands in the process of becoming a household brand, and the upcoming events in the SoFi Stadium. We're not financial advisors, and this is not financial advice, so always do your own due diligence. This month, FIFA announced the official venues that will host the most awaited match for the 2026 World Cup. Again, 11 of them coming from the United States, 3 in Mexico, and 2 in Canada. According to ESPN.com, the 2026 FIFA World Cup will be the first tournament to be hosted by 3 nations on record, and this time, it will be the first head-to-head between 48 teams, up from just 32 teams in the previous years. In case you didn't know, here are the 7 unique facts about this upcoming World Cup. Number 1, group stage matches, no ties, direct decision. This new feature of the World Cup makes sure that a group match won't end in a tie. After 90 minutes of the game, penalty kicks will be the tournament's clincher. FIFA really said,
"Let's not waste our time."
Number 2, 9 days between nations' first matches. Since this upcoming World Cup now has 48 teams in total, there should be a 9-day gap between the dates on which the first and last countries enter a match. Number 3, knockout system starts with a round of 32. According to the 2026 World Cup NorthAmerica.com, the schedule will be as is for the remainder of the tournament. It will be 1 match in the 32nd round, 16th, quarterfinals, and finals. Number 4, 80 matches. While there were only 64 matches in the previous event, the 2026 FIFA World Cup will consist of 80 games. Number 5, subdivision matches in USA, Canada, and Mexico. According to the draft schedule of the FIFA 2026 World Cup organization, 60 matches will be held in the USA, 10 in Canada, and 10 in Mexico. Number 6, kickoff times in 4 time zone. Since we get to see the World Cup in 3 host countries, which are placed in 4 different time zones, and as of writing this, the kickoff times for the 80 World Cup matches are yet to be known. Number 7, opening match, semifinals, and final 2026 World Cup in North America. Last but not least, the World Cup fanatic might be curious as to where the last venue will be for the final of the 2026 World Cup, and here it is. It will be held in New York at the MetLife Stadium. By this time, you already know that SoFi Stadium has been selected as one of the chosen stadiums that will host the World Cup matches. Other cities in the US are New York or New Jersey, Dallas, San Francisco Bay Area, Miami, Atlanta, Seattle, Houston, Philadelphia, Kansas City, Missouri, and Boston. Luckily, SoFi Stadium was FIFA's top pick instead of the Rose Bowl that hosted the 1994 World Cup Finals. This $5 billion SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California, aka the most expensive stadium built in the world, definitely stood out as this home of the Los Angeles Rams and Los Angeles Chargers have been constantly on the radar of most media today. SoFi Stadium has held the Super Bowl, many huge concerts like the BTS, Rolling Stones, Paul McCartney, and much more. SoFi Stadium has held the Super Bowl, many huge concerts, huge games, and a lot more events. Who will be playing and how many games will be hosted by SoFi Stadium is yet to be known. But as Galaxy president Chris Klien, the co-chair of the Los Angeles World Cup Host Committee, would say, this is huge for the city of LA. We're excited to be chosen. SoFi Stadium has some luxury suites, and many people like the convenience of being not too far from the airport. Although according to the LA Times, SoFi Stadium still has one flaw to consider: a regulation-sized soccer field. Another Another co-chair of the host committee, an executive officer of the LA Football Club, Larry Friedman, said that this issue can be solved as demountable field-level seats in the four corners of the pitch can easily be removed. As simple as that. Friedman also recommended that the artificial turf surface should be covered with some natural grass to level up the preparation for the 2026 World Cup. That's also 4 years from now, so they have more than enough time to figure it out. Last year, we were wondering how big this could be to both SoFi Stadium and SoFi itself. In 1994, the Rose Bowl that hosted the previous World Cup ever played in US history gathered a whopping 3.6 million in attendance in all games. According to LA Times, the event alone earned $623 million for Southern California alone. How much more 28 years after in the most expensive stadium built in the world? Anyways, let's talk about SoFi's dream to be a household brand. Let this be known to the world, and let's hear it from the GOAT, SoFi CEO Anthony Noto.
I spoke with CEO Anthony Noto, formerly the CFO of the NFL, about the deal and the company's massive investment in making SoFi a household name.
Yeah, I think first and foremost is why are we doing it strategically, and that's both the on-location live experience that can bring our brand to life, but also these national telecasts that will drive unaided brand awareness, which is critical for anyone like a financial services company to build that level of trust. Secondarily, it's less than 5% of our overall spending, and we have a really strong and profitable lending business and $2.3 billion of cash on our balance sheet. So not only is it important strategically, it's not that big relative to our overall spend, and most critically, we have plenty of capital to do this and so many other things.
Rumor has it that SoFi will pay about $625 million for this marketing tactic, which makes SoFi liable for sponsorship fees and other advertising perks they get from SoFi Stadium. The agreement started in 2020 and is expected to end in 2040. Almost 4 years ago since Russia held the last World Cup, and according to FIFA, it shows a record of 3.57 billion people who watched the ultimate competition in football. Behind the 64 matches, the average number of a live audience was 191 million. Imagine what it could do to make SoFi a one-stop shop household brand. Shout out to Azar Khan, one of our Wealth Gambit OGs, who had shared his 2 cents on this massive opportunity for SoFi 8 months ago. SoFi Stadium will be hosting the 2023 College Football Playoff National Championship on January 9. In April, it will be leading WrestleMania 39, while it's also booked with the opening and closing ceremonies of the 2028 Summer Olympics. But as Captain Noto would say,
unique opportunity for us to drive greater efficiency in our marketing dollars and have such an elevated presence in the financial world and sports and live entertainment more broadly.
If you haven't already, make sure to follow us on our social media pages at Wealth Gambit. The link will be in the description box below. A special shout out to everyone in our Patreon community. You guys truly help to make these videos possible, and we really appreciate all the support. Shout out to Arthur Magazu, Wei Chu, Daniel Corbett, Mr. Welfare, Casey Patel, Jeff Sherman, Gregory Villar, Bo Park, Denzel, Reginald Davis, Les Broadway, Christian Cardelphi, Kevin Beaufran, Jay Bone, Daniel Zinson, and ABC Sam. So if you happen to gain any value from this video, smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe. Thanks for watching. We greatly appreciate it. And until next time, peace.